I'm excited to introduce our next speaker, a Marine. Whoa. Gee, I wonder who it is. Marines are a little intense. I think you might see that. But Marines are taught to keep moving. They're taught to never stop, to overcome and push the status quo and to push the human limits. I think you're going to see that with our next speaker, Marine Margo Ellis.
I appreciate those of you who barked for me. It's kind of funny because, well, I'm cute. Thank you for having a picture of me to look at. Not only because I'm cute and I appreciate looking at myself, but I'm black, and today was not hair day, right? But I was going to make it hair day. For those of you who don't know, black women wash our hair on the weekend. During the week, we just roll with it, right? So today's Thursday, which means it's getting big, right? And normally, I'm like, you know what? Saturday's coming. It's good, right? But today, I was going to be before all of you, and so I was like, you know what? Today's going to be hair day, right? That was the plan. That was the plan. And it was a little bit of a rough morning. Got into the shower, because that was important. Got out of the shower, and I realized I didn't wash my hair. But I was already out of the shower. You know what I'm saying? So I was like, what am I do, right? Like, I really sat there. It was like a 2-minute long conversation with myself in the mirror, like, what am I do? Like, do I go back in? Do I shower? Do I, like, wash my hair because it's getting big? But the good thing is I can see myself, so if it starts to go too crazy, I could just press it down. My name is Margo Ellis. I'm from San Francisco. Who else here is from San Francisco? Woo, woo! What's up, babe? Hella babe. So I'm from San Francisco. My mother is from Washington, D.C. My father is from here. I am third generation San Franciscan. My mom actually came here for a summer of love, got a little bit more than she was planning for. My parents separated when I was relatively young. So when I was 2, my mom went home and her parents found out I was black. That was fun. They were like, we knew you had a baby, but there's like some people in the room who's like, how would they not know that you were black? I was born before the internet. We used to have these things called cameras with film inside of them, and you couldn't see what was inside, right? And my mom would take 2 to 3 years to expose film, and I was only 2. Therefore, all the pictures of me were unexposed, which was not weird, because that's how she rolled. Do you know what I'm saying? And so, like, yeah, they didn't know I was black, because she left that off on the telephone, and there was no Facebook or anything else for, like, your friend to dime you out, because you can't do that no more. You know what I'm saying? Because you marry a black man, you have a black baby. This man over here taking a picture right now. You know what I'm saying? So somebody go tell your mama. Right? But in 1978, don't do the math on that. It'll hurt your feelings, because I could be your mama. In 1978, you could have a black kid and your parents wouldn't know, so you came home like, oops, did I leave that out? My bad. You know, I knew y'all was gonna be pissed. Isn't she cute? You know what I'm saying? And you know what I'm saying, because I am. So it was good, right? But so early in life, I understood a couple of things. The first thing I understood is what you look like impacts everything else that happens to you, right? So my black grandmama used to tell me, you gotta be twice as good to be just as good. Because people are gonna think, you're not good, you're not smart, because you're black. And then I went to school, and I was too young to really understand that, but I was cute. And so people were like, I mean, we just gotta state the obvious. It's always good to like point at the elephant, like, it's here, it's the elephant. It's cool though. They don't charge people, they're good. You just pet it, ride it, that's how most of the developing world is civilized itself. But anyway, so cute, and people thought, oh, she must not be smart because she's cute, or she might think that she's better than other people because she's cute. But I didn't know I was cute because I was black, and I was going to predominantly white school. So I went to Montessori school, almost left that out. Thank you for those of you who are looking at me like, we don't know your story. I appreciate that, because it helps me to fill in the things. So keep doing that, keep giving the facial cues to me. So I went to Montessori school, and in Montessori school, Your opinion matters. You call your teachers by their first names. They tell you that your opinion matters, right? But most of the places that we go in the world, our opinion doesn't matter. So there was a slide up earlier where they were talking about companies wanting to hire veterans. And a lot of these companies that want to hire veterans because they still have this 1978 mentality where they just want somebody who's going to do exactly what they tell them to do, right? They don't want somebody who's going to like think or give them feedback or like tell them stuff, and so they're like, yes, veterans, we need some of those, right? Because they're just going to come in and do what we tell them to do, and it'll be awesome, right? Unlike all these Montessori school kids giving us their feedback and trying to call us by our first name and stuff, right? And so, like, for me in the world, I lived in this juxtaposition, right? Where I was clearly a woman of color, and I understood that as a woman of color, I was gonna have to work twice as hard to be just as good, but I was in Montessori school, so I thought my opinion mattered, and I really wasn't sure where I fit in the world. And so, when I was 20, I got into a fight with my family about how I was spending money, and they told me they were gonna cut me off. And I told them, that's okay, because the military will pay for my education. And they were like, how are you gonna like listen to military rules when you won't listen to our rules? I was like, I will, right? Because I will, right? So I joined the Marine Corps, and they decided to let me know that like the Marine Corps is notoriously harder than my parents. But at that time, I was like, but I won't know them forever. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, because I'm gonna live, I mean, y'all know I'm already 40, right? So that's like a long time. I only spent 10 years in the Marine Corps. So I got 30 years with my family, only 10 with the Corps. I plan to live longer. My family, I gotta deal with them forever, right? But the Marines, I'm like, I'm gonna listen to them for like, 4 years was the original plan. 4 years, they're gonna pay my education. I don't have to deal with them ever again. But you parents, y'all trying to boss me for life. You know what I'm saying? I'm trying to get free. Y'all saying I was on some Amistad in my way through the Marine Corps. You know what I'm saying? Like, give us free, right? Or hoorah, whatever I gotta say. I'm just trying to get an education. You know what I mean? So anyway, I joined the Marine Corps, and I enlisted. And I planned to stay in for 4 years. And they were like, oh, you're smart. You're so smart. We should like send you to officer school. And so we're gonna make you one of those really smart people that we send to officer school. You should re-enlist. Well, it's gonna be great. I was like, yeah. And by the way, while we're at it, I heard they're letting girls into the Citadel. Let's do it. I'm gonna like be an officer. I'm gonna be one of those girls who like helps to like change the Citadel because I'm gonna change the world, right? And then I went to the Citadel like, hey, I'm Margo, I'm here to change the world. I'm black, I'm a woman, yes. They were like, what? Right? They were like, no, we didn't sign up for that, right? They were like, And I was just like, no, it's great. Like, I'm a sergeant in the Marine Corps. I done did some things. I done been some places. And now I'm here to, like, run stuff here. You know, make it all better. They were like, this is all worse. This is the worst. This is the absolute worst. It was lots of white man temper tantrums, like, every day. You know what I'm saying? Like, this, ugh. And she's messing up the curve in my calculus class. Oh, black girl, good in math. I'm angry. You know what I'm saying? It's not good. Not good for the white men at the I tried to tutor them. They didn't want it. It was bad. It was all bad. I think if I would have had sex with some of them, it would have been better. I wasn't doing that. It was all bad. So the Citadel didn't work out. And it was the first time I really dealt with failure. And it was a story that I didn't tell for a long time because I was like, I failed. Oh my God, I failed. I'm so smart and I failed. Nobody noticed I was cute. Well, they did, but I wouldn't have sex with them and it didn't work out. So I'm like, I don't know what to do with this story. You know what I mean? And I wouldn't tell it for a long time because I was like, failure, can't handle it, don't know what to do. But when I got sent back, because I had re-enlisted for 6 years in order to go to the Citadel. So I was still enlisted. And I remember the big part of the story where they were like, oh, you're so smart. I should have gone to Cal. It would have been great. I would have been like happier. Like, what's up? I didn't make the right decision. I did not make the right decision. I went to the Citadel. Didn't work out. I failed. So then I had a choice, right? My choice at that time was be miserable for the next 6 years, continue to fail every day of your life, right? And prove all these people wrong. Or this goes to something that Vicki was talking about with resiliency. And this is actually what I really learned about resiliency when I was in the military. My sister is very politically active. And so when I got dropped from the Citadel, I called her crying, of course, because she's my sister. I didn't think that she was going to make her way to calling, like, the commandant's office for the Marine Corps to let him know. And so when the commandant's office got called, right, to hear about, like, this travesty, right, that we were going to, like, go to the streets, like, si, se, puede, let Margo back in. I'm sure that didn't work out really good. I'm not Mexican, I'm black. But a lot of people get confused because I'm light-skinned. But so when she called the commandant's office, they basically were like, listen, I don't know who you are or how you got to our office, but clearly you know some people because you like calling me on my cell phone at dinner and I'm the damn commandant. So I'm putting it to you like this, right? Your sister has a choice. She can either buck up and be a great Marine, or like, I don't even know what comes next because we've never had this as a problem. So I, at the time, chose to slay because I'm black, and that's what we do. This is a story about black girl magic. So with a negative fit rep, having not made it through the Citadel, I went back to the Corps with 6 years left, was demoted from a sergeant to a corporal because I was meritoriously promoted in order to go to the Citadel in the first place. And I somehow, some way, managed to not only make it back, but also in the Marine Corps, the first time that you have to go for a competitive promotion where they look at all of you is for staff sergeant. And so I made it to staff sergeant. I got my undergraduate degree while I was on active duty. And when I got out, nobody wanted to hire me. And I thought, like, what are you talking about? Like, I'm so smart. I spent 10 years in. I did all this stuff. Like, I have a college degree. Like, why doesn't anybody want to hire me? But nobody wanted to hire me because, going back to another thing that was on Vicki's slide, nobody thought I was smart. I was enlisted. I made the choice to join the Marine Corps of Engineers, but like in the Marine Corps of Engineers, that doesn't mean that you're coding. That means that you're probably either building stuff or blowing stuff up. I was a builder, and so people were like, you're basically a construction worker, and we don't need that here, right? And then eventually, like pretty quickly, one of my mentors was like, you just need to get better lettering, right? Go to Georgetown. I was in DC at the time. Go to Georgetown, go to GW, go somewhere where like people will think you're smart. So I got into Georgetown, and it was hilarious because, Hoya Saxa. So I hadn't even been there long enough to be smarter yet, like literally hadn't like finished a class, and people were like, you were in the military. You fought in Fallujah. Oh, you're fabulous. We must introduce you to everyone, right? And like pretty soon, I had like a job on the Hill, right? And I hadn't even finished my first class. And I kind of wanted to be like, I can't be smarter. I haven't been here long enough. But they're like, no, hogwash. You know what I'm saying? And so since then, my career, I have 1 minute left probably at this point, did this, right? I'll leave you with like one other small anecdote, which is that while I was working on the Hill, I had the opportunity to engage with a lot of people who were running the Hire 100,000 Vets initiative at JP Morgan. And I gave them feedback, because I was like, hey, I go to Georgetown. You guys are on my campus every day, and you're recruiting for $100,000 a year jobs, right? And my friends through Student Veterans of America at Harvard and Yale are telling me similar stories. But every job I'm seeing that you're trying to hire veterans for is like minimum wage, tops, like $60,000, $70,000 a year. And you feel like you're doing a great gift when you offer people a $60,000, $70,000 a year job. But I'd rather go like my Georgetown route than like my veteran route, because those jobs are way better. Why is that? Like, why don't you hire veterans on the campuses that you're on? And they were like, there's veterans at Georgetown and Harvard. It's like, yeah, crazy, isn't it? So then they hired me as a vice president. So I literally walked across the stage on Friday afternoon as a graduating student at Georgetown. And Monday, I was a vice president at JP Morgan. And so I'm way over time. I'm going to close it up. The moral of this story is veterans are often much more capable than you give them credit for. And so I encourage all of you, if you don't know veterans, if you're an ally, love ya, thanks. Know that we represent much more than what the stereotypes tell you. And if you are a veteran, know that you represent much more than what the stereotypes tell you. It's my time, Margo.
Thank you, Margo. Jesus, what have I been doing with my life?